Good morning, everyone. I'm giving time for people to drop into the live chat here. You know me, guys. I just get in where I fit in. You never know when I'm going to go live, when I'm going to post a video. I just always try to make sure it's not too long from the last one. How is everybody? You know, I'm always multitasking in my life, so I'm sitting here waiting for someone, so I was like, let me go live. I haven't gone live in a little while on my channel. Good morning, and God bless you too, Tony. Aw, good morning, Princess. Yeah, you know, I talk to a lot of survivors, and I see a running issue. Goodness. Somebody's trying to text me right now. Like, it's just totally not a good time. Yes, I was just reading your comments because you were watching the last video I posted on when the narcissist dies. Thank you for subscribing. I hope that you find, you know, a lot of positive information that will help you on your journey. Hey Lisa, hey Cheryl, God bless you too, hopeful healing, and good morning. So, you know, as I was saying, guys, I do speak to a lot of survivors, and I do see a running theme of people dehumanizing themselves. Like the narcissist has already dehumanized you in a certain sense, and then we do it to ourselves because, you know, we're not differentiating between what's perfection and what's real. There's no perfect human being on this earth. I don't care how fabulous they are in a certain area, because we all have gifts. You know, I'm sure there's an area of their life where, you know, they could improve upon. Or there's some people with excellent careers and really crappy love lives. Like, no one in this life gets it right all the way around, all the time, in every area. And we really beat ourselves up against the head, you know, especially after narcissistic abuse with the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Why didn't I see it quicker and all this other stuff. And, you know, I just want to encourage you guys to let up off of that. Even with the narcissist, people do the best that they can. Even that narcissist that treated you so bad, that's the level of their consciousness. That's where they are, you know, in their psyche, and they have their brokenness. But we're so hard on ourselves, and I think the healing process could be a lot smoother and faster if you let go of the need to be perfect. And this is something, you know, the narcissist wants to appear perfect, but the survivors oftentimes really trying to be perfect. You know, there's a difference. There's a lot more effort and work going into the person that's actually trying to be perfect than the one that just needs to appear that way. You know, you got to be exhausted with that. It's okay. You know, you got to let go. That's the codependency, guys. It really is the codependency. Because when you're wrapped up in that, chances are you are also wrapped up in what other people will think, other people will say, other people will perceive. When we let go of that kind of stuff, it's such a freeing thing. You know, if somebody else thinks you should have graduated medical school in like 5 years, like, people put expectations on us. But it's really up to us to really decide the power and control that we want to give, you know, people in our lives, especially as adults. You know, it's as children, you know, we're still learning and evolving, and we're a lot more susceptible and vulnerable and gullible. But as we, you know, mature and get grown, you know, we can take that power. But we have to let go of what people will say, what people will think, you know. Yes, they are. Hopeful Healing says survivors are usually very kind and sweet people. They are, but it's to a fault. It's usually to a fault because there's no balance in there, meaning the boundaries with those traits are just, there's none for them, basically. Princess says, I love how effortlessly you describe narcissism. It truly is a sadistic personality disorder. Yeah. Hopeful Healing says, my daughter is giving me the silent treatment, keeping my grandchildren away from me. It has been 4 months since I have seen my grandchildren. Yeah. They will use children. You know, even in a co-parenting situation, they'll use any tool for manipulation, and people are tools to narcissists, unfortunately. And that's a part of them dehumanizing people and putting them in the same category as places and things. That's great, Hopeful Healing. She says, watching my videos have helped her survive. Princess says, it took over 31 years for me to actually start accepting my imperfections. Right. Yes, that's called embracing yourself. And I made a video about being comfortable in one's skin. I highly recommend that you check that out, Princess. But, you know, there's a certain beauty to our imperfections as well. You know, and we have to learn how to laugh at ourselves. I mean, once you know yourself, like I know myself, I know my strengths and my weaknesses. And that's all right with me. I can still love myself. I can still embrace myself and still work towards getting better in some areas. And then everything isn't for everybody. You know, some things you just, like that person that just always wanted to learn how to dance and they just have no rhythm. You know, we gotta learn how to laugh at ourselves. Princess says, this is why children should learn how to perform inner child work on themselves. I really wish I knew what I know now. Yeah, they don't teach this in school. They don't. The education system is really about getting children ready for the rat race, getting children ready to work for corporate America and stuff. It's not really about, you know, all that inner work. But this is where parenting, you know, comes into place. And, you know, as you guys are getting stronger, even if you don't have children, you may have nieces and nephews or children around you, that people that you can school. Tony says, wow, I totally understand. It took me 20 years and still a little struggle. Yeah, you guys aren't alone. Even I say most people, you talk to them, they will say it took them well into their 40s before they really started to feel comfortable with themselves. Well into their 40s. So, you know, I just think it's a pathway in life because as human beings, we're born and we want to fit in. You know, we want to be accepted. This is just the way that the human experience is set up, you know. So at first, of course, we want to be accepted by our primary caretakers. And when that doesn't go right, it puts us on a defense in life. And we want to find somewhere to be accepted. So we're using our personal relationships to, you know, get what we never got. And then if our parents didn't instill in us, it's okay to stand out. It's okay to be an individual. You know, you don't have to compare yourself to this person over here. It's all right if that group of people don't like you. You know, and explain the way relationships work. Because most people in our lives are seasonal anyway. Well, nothing lasts forever, point blank, you know. But as far as, you know, a lifelong friend that's with you until your last breath, and a friend just for elementary school, a friend just for junior high, a friend that you had during your college years only. You know, like most people in our lives are very seasonal. You'll probably be able to count on one hand, you know, those friends that are making it with you from start to finish. Hold on a minute, guys. 1 second. Yes. So, Thanks, guys, for being patient with me. Difference says, I don't know what to do. Hold on a minute. No, hold on, Difference. Let me read your other question here. I'm dealing with one right now. There's a bus coming in behind me. Okay, here we go. Difference says, I'm dealing with one right now. Why he keep popping up on me walking to stores in my apartment? Walking to stores on the street of your apartment. Okay. They want to be seen. You know, narcissists, they do all types of things to hoover. And, you know, perhaps you're ready to let go and he isn't. Princess says, it's wonderful how we place more value on progress instead of past failures. Yeah. But, you know, honestly, if you talk to the most successful people in life, Princess, they will say their failures have strengthened them and helped them progress in life way more than those successes. And actually, those failures prepared them to succeed. It got them ready for the success that was going to come. Just think about what you just went through with narcissistic abuse. What did you learn out of that situation, that failed relationship? We can take so much information from our fails in life. So I think people need to embrace their fails and stop being so negative about it. At least you tried. There are some people who just talk the talk and never walk the walk. They always talk about starting a business. They always talk about going back to school. They always talk about traveling. They always talk about going bungee jumping. They always talking about, you know, the things that they want to do in life, and they don't do it. So failure really is, you know, those are the seeds of effort, of trying. And being as though we're not perfect, at least you're trying it. Okay, I failed at it. And let's use the word fail loosely here. I didn't get that right, but now that I've at least tried it, I can maneuver, I can adjust, I can, you know, but that comes with experience, you know? So, you know, failure is giving you experience of what not to do, which is just as valuable as what you should do. So I think a lot of people don't give failure enough power, you know? Narc says, hi, Lakia. Hello, sweetie. Tony says, I turned 49 on Saturday. Leo season, baby. My birthday is this Sunday, guys. I'm excited about that. I have no plans this year, but just excited all the same. And you feel like you lost so many years on this abuse. You didn't lose any years, you know. You made it through those years and you just had some stuff to learn, Tony, and it took you a while to learn it. That's all that is. Princess says, I want to teach children even voluntarily. Okay, well, you know, put your creative mind together and see how you can do that. Even if it's starting your own YouTube channel, even if it's writing a book about emotional maturity. You know, I'm writing a book called Lessons to My Little Sisters. I've been working on that for a couple of years now, and it's going to basically have all the pearls and wisdom that I never got as a young lady, being as though my mom passed away at 7. And no one stepped in and ever had those important life discussions about credit, about men, about hygiene. Like, I'm giving them all my pearls and wisdom. And it's like a book mentor, basically. People who don't have a mentor or someone, an older woman in their life to school them on life and tell them this and that. And that's going to be one of my ways of giving back, you know. So there's ways that you can find to do that. There's big brother, little sister organizations, you know, there's group homes, shelters. There are places where you can certainly find you know, if you've experienced teenage pregnancy or young pregnancy in your life, you could maybe mentor or be a support to another young lady. Like, there's so many ways that you can give back. And I tell people this in my sessions, to give other people what you want. And they think they don't have it to give, but we do. We have a lot more to give than we think. So Different says, I don't know what to do with him. Ignore him. You don't have to do anything. Just because he's crossing your path, you know, crying out for attention like a little 3-year-old, it doesn't mean that you have to give it to him. Now, if you don't feel safe, that's going to be another issue. But if he's just, you know, trying to give you opportunities to break the ice so that he could feel like you came to him, even though he's putting himself right in your pathway. So Barbara Green says, I really thank God in the videos. It really helped me out a lot, and I just been keeping myself busy, and I'm going to Springfield next week to see the Vice President Joe Biden. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Hopefully you can get a picture with him. Hopeful Healing says, I blame myself. I was 36 years old when I had my daughter, and yes, I spoiled her rotten, and now she's a disrespectful narcissist. It's very sad. I thought I was being a sweet, loving mom. I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, that is another way that narcissists are created, not only through neglect, but through access. By spoiling a child, then they naturally just become entitled, and then when they get older, they don't know how to balance that in the real world where everyone's not like their mother, just giving them everything they want and spoiling them, you know. Sarah says, you can laugh or cry at yourself. Always laugh, it's better, even when you try to cry. Thank you for your information always. You're welcome. Yeah, laughter is a wonderful thing. I try to laugh every day of my life. I keep comedy very close to me, even in the midst of very stressful situations. It's a way to break my ice and to keep my mood from going down. Because there's always a silver lining, typically speaking. And, you know, what we focus on grows. So, you know, if we have that tunnel vision and it's just always negative, always imperfections, you look in the mirror, all you can see is that you need to lose weight. You don't find any beauty in yourself. You have no gratitude for your body that is, you know, helping you function and live every day, even if you feel like you need to lose weight. You know, that's the tunnel vision. I know people that won't even wear a bathing suit, you know. I've, you know, talked to people like that, and it's very limiting. Very limiting. So you don't deserve to go swimming. You're not good enough to swim now because you're not a certain size. Hopeful Healing says, Sarah, you are so right. We have to keep joy and laughter in our life. Yes, it makes a big difference. Resistance, hey, from the UK. Princess says, Helpful Healing, I really hope you will start feeling the need to stand up to your daughter. Well, standing up to her, Princess, maybe just talking to a brick wall. If anything, hopefully she learning how narcissists are and accept what is, and instead of trying to resist it or change it. Because it's very less likely that she will change her daughter's ways. Just make your peace with it, and do what you can. You know, if you're able to still send them things, if she lets you see them once a year, or just take what you can and grin and bear with it, and they won't be children forever. You know, it's unfortunate at times. Resistance says, I find it ironic that the narcissist pretends to be independent and we are the insecure ones, but without us, they fall apart being alone. Absolutely. And I made a video about them being jealous, haters, and because I feel like we do give them too much power. Just like in my video, the videos that I made about 5 ways to get back at a narcissist. It wasn't really for me to help people get revenge per se, but just to show people, like, look, these people have faults and flaws as well. They're not perfect. They have weak spots. They have weak spots. But yes, they're very reliant on quote unquote supply, and that's the human being. So yeah, we give them too much power. Without supply, they'd probably be committing suicide. Hopeful Healing says, you are so right. I never did stand up to her. I walked on eggshells trying to please her. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times with survivors, we fall into that trap of, because you started out doing these things, you feel like you got to keep doing it. Let's say you got into a relationship and you realize, oh, I'm overgiving. This is really going over my boundaries. And a lot of survivors have had a hard time standing up for themselves, and they have a hard time shifting to say, you know what? Yes, I used to give you my whole paycheck, but that isn't working out for me anymore. It's going to be like this, you know? If they still want to have that relationship with you, if they still care about you and value you, they can respect what's uncomfortable to you now. This isn't working for me anymore. I can't give you my whole paycheck. I can't just run at your beck and call. I can't keep abandoning my business. You know, there are things. We can make adjustments in life. That's why we're living and learning. But a lot of survivors have a hard time making those adjustments when they find out, you know, they're doing the wrong things. It's hard for them to speak up. It's hard for them to assert themselves and put their foot down. But you're going to have to learn how to do that, because a lot of your old patterns, you might find yourself doing them again in your next relationship, because knowing what to do and having practice and doing it are two different things when it comes to these toxic behaviors. You really need to build the muscle. You really need to get used to saying no and setting boundaries. You got to get used to it. And that takes practice. And I was telling people this in another video, because after my last narcissistic relationship, I took 18 months off. I went through all types of phases where I didn't want to be bothered with people. And it took me time. It took me time to even want to try to date again and stuff. But once I did, I thought that whole 18 months and doing all the self-work, because I did a lot of shadow work during that time, and those are times and periods where isolation is actually working for you, because you have things to work on within yourself so that you can be stronger. And although I was stronger and wiser, I still hadn't built up those muscles because I wasn't practicing it. I was just being by myself. So, you know, being in those situations, starting to date again and gauge things, I seen where I had to build up my muscles still. So don't be surprised, even if you take a long time to yourself out of these relationships, when you start embarking on it again, the muscles are probably still going to be weak. Your mental muscle is getting stronger, but you got to still get used to doing these things. It's going to feel awkward, because knowing that you should say no, and you don't have that experience, you don't have that comfort with doing it. So the more you start doing it, the more that muscle gets stronger, and before you know it, you ain't even gonna be worried about it. Look. Hey, Rebecca. I see your comments. I do read comments, guys. I do read comments. Princess says, I learned how self-destructive vibrations and of disrespect are. Yeah. Sometimes we do self-sabotage, or we're caught up in our toxic patterns. That's very true. Princess says, kids need to learn how to love themselves unconditionally. Yes. And that comes with, as the title of my video says, recognizing perfect versus real. You know, in the real world, in real life, We have a bunch of imperfect people. Some of us are trying to get it right, and some of us are just in our ignorance. Everybody's, you know, in their own journey and path and at their own level of consciousness, you know. Crazy Diaz says, I want to start my YouTube. Well, start it, sweetie. You got it. It's not hard. It's not hard. Not sure where and how to start. Well, think of what do you want to talk about on your channel. Come up with some video ideas. Figure out where you want to shoot your videos, or if you're going to do audios or a mixture of both. And then just start recording. Start recording. Research your videos, topics, and, you know, provide value to someone. Help someone. And you'll be on your way. Princess says, hopeful healing. I wish I could give you a hug. Oh my God, I would treat you so much better if you were my mother. Aw, yeah, narcissists, they be having the most beautiful people. And it's like, man, I wish I had someone like that in my life. They don't know how good they have it. That's a part of their own tunnel vision. Crazy Diaz says, I want to help kids especially, and adopt, therapeutic, foster. We need to educate people and help. Yes, we do. All right. Let me go down here. Ah, thank you. Oh, thanks. Thanks to my Listerine, baby, and that Colgate with baking soda, baby. And all them years in a dentist chair. I'm telling you, as a child, I was buck teeth and everything. I had to wear braces. I done went through... I feel like I could be a dentist. I done sat in a chair and done this and that. But thanks, sweetie. Difference says, I was angry and told him, don't come over. He did. I told him, no sex. No, he did it to me anyway. On my living room floor. He said, you love me, laughed, ran out my door yesterday. Will he come back? Thank you for your wisdom. Whew. Well, difference, no one should be forcing sex on you. That's technically rape. You're telling this person no. This person could try to come back, but he can only come in if you let him in. Like, you can't open your door for this person. You have to put up some walls with this person and much stronger boundaries that he would not be able to even feel like he's gonna... He needs to feel like he'll be wasting his time by even showing up at your doorstep. Difference says, am I crazy? I think I care for him still. You probably have a soul tie. I don't know your whole background with this difference, but you probably have a soul tie with him and a trauma bond. And probably some codependency going on there. Guys, I'm skimming through the messages here. You can do this. Hello. You're welcome, Crazy Diaz. Yeah, you're awesome too, sweetie. And, you know, and let me know when you start your channel. I'll definitely check you out and subscribe, okay? Yes, narcissistic personality disorder is spiritually dangerous. That's why you feel so drained, because they're intertwining with your spirit and sucking your energy out of you, your life source. Yeah, yeah. All right, guys. I'm trying to think. I do have the Facebook support group for those of you who have not joined it yet. That's Lakia Reflection and Progression, which is the name of this channel, Crawford. Inbox me, let me know that you're a survivor, because I have a lot of random requests on that channel, and I'll go ahead and let you through. And I'm going to be starting a Patreon. I'm going to be starting, it's already started, I just haven't had time to really organize it yet. And that's going to be where you guys could have a membership with me and have a whole lot more access with me. Where, especially for those of you who cannot afford coaching with me, it's going to be really good for you. All right. And for those of you who want to have coaching, I do offer that over the phone, through Skype, through FaceTime on WhatsApp, and I even do email coaching. You can email CoachLakia@gmail.com. That's underneath most of my videos, guys. I have books on Barnes & Nobles to help you heal from narcissistic abuse and any toxic relationship, and help you with your shadow work as well. But I do always recommend reading them in order, and that would be the X Factor Volume 1, the X Factor Volume 2, The Beauty of the Eye, and Silent Tears for those of you who have been sexually abused. And I recommend that for difference. I recommend that you read Silent Tears. There's ebook format in the hard copy. There's exercises in there, and just to help you begin to tackle that in your shadow work, sweetie. You can do this as, hi, you are a superstar. Thank you for being brave and staying true. I'm not a superstar, but thanks for tuning in. Hopeful Healing says, I moved 4 hours away. I am now living by the ocean. Nice. I was done being disrespected. My punishment is the silent treatment from my daughter. But that doesn't have to be a punishment to you if you're going in with your logic and not your emotions. If you understand that narcissists use that to try to hurt you and they're working out of their ignorance, you can decide what to do with that and how much power you're going to give it. Okay, she has a narc injury. She's narc raging on me. She's trying to, this is part of her control mechanisms. Like, it depends on our perceptions. And I know these are personal relationships, but it's not personal. You're going to take it, you're feeling like it's personal because it's your daughter. But when anyone is disrespecting us, we have to consider, what are their limitations? They probably could have woke up on the wrong side of bed. They might be a narcissist. You know, you don't know what their mental illnesses are, or the ignorance that they're working out of, or what's going on in their life. And I say this to people because survivors that are typically codependent, they take everything that people do personally, even when it's not happening in their personal relationships, even when it's not happening in their, it could be a stranger that just cut you off in a road. You know, that person could have anger issues. They could, yeah, they could be a narcissist. They could have just got some devastating news. Like, anything can happen. Like, people let anything ruin their day, get into their energy. But we have to become the guardians of our energy, even in our interpersonal relationships, such as my daughter. But if you know she's a narcissist and you really understand how that works, her silent treatment becomes far less personal, you know. Because 99.9% of the time, and that's maybe a little bit too high, but let's say 99% of the time, the way people are treating us has everything to do with them and not us. Yes, sometimes, yeah, you punched me, now I punched you. You know, and even with that, it's how I process that punch. I chose to be offended by it, and then I chose to react to it, you know. But we give things, we have to separate this person's disorder. You know, what if someone had Tourette's and they're just blurting out curse words? Like, they can't stop blurting it out. So they said F you to you. Like, they weren't really saying F you to you. That's their disease playing out. This is how I look at narcissistic abuse. They're going to treat everybody this way. And it makes it far less personal. Okay? Far less personal. We decide. We decide. I've coached people on this, and it's one of the biggest things that survivors are having issues with, learning how to separate themselves from others. Because what happens is when our primary caretakers are not, we didn't get that proper bond, we're looking for that bond the rest of our lives, and we're prematurely attaching to people, and, you know, this is what happens. But once you enmesh with someone, now what they say, what they think, what they feel, it becomes a part of our thoughts and feelings. We're giving it too much weight, and now it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt for that very reason. Yes, definitely. There's samples of it, different. There's a sample of Silent Tears on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles where they can be found. And my name is Lakia Crawford if you want to search the author. All right guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this live chat. I just wanted to hop on here. It's always nice to drop in. I appreciate all the support that I get on the channel, guys. The channel is growing really well. We're almost to 6,000 subscribers in what, 5 months? That's really excellent growth for someone that just came out of nowhere. So I really appreciate that. And to all of you that do donate to the channel, I appreciate that as well. Those links are under the video. You could do PayPal, you could do Cash App. It's all appreciated to this single mom. And it really lifts me up. You know, they just periodically come through. You know, if my videos have blessed you and you want to donate, you definitely can. You can do this as have a great day, sending good vibes your way as well. And I have over 300 videos here, guys, and I've made playlists for you guys. If you're having a bad day, the motivational playlist for those healing from narcissistic abuse, go into that. There's over 30 videos in that playlist now to help you when you're in your triggered moments and you're feeling bad. You know, a lot of resources here on the channel. And go through the separate playlists that might apply to your specific situation or an aspect of narcissistic abuse that you want to get more clarity on. You know, there's a lot of videos. There's a lot of videos, guys. All right, so with that being said, you know, it's a beautiful sunny day here where I am, but you know, the sunniness of your day, that's more of an internal thing, you know? So you guys have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys next time, all right?